Hey everybody, my name is Bernardo. I'm the Director of RevOps here at LeanScale, and today I wanted to walk you through the POC object design. Many companies involve a POC or proof of concept stage in their sales lifecycle, and today I wanted to walk you through some of the ways that we design it in CRM, particularly in Salesforce, in order to maximize the user experience, timing flexibility, and reporting insights that we can derive from it. Let me share my screen and show you how we approach designing it directly in the system. As you can see, we have an opportunity here for account 1 and product C, and right at the top hand corner, right as a button, you should be able to see a request POC button. As you click on this, it will automatically create a POC record with the basic information that we have required in here, which will be a name. Let's name this POC number 1, a start date, let's set it to today, and an end date, we'll put it tomorrow. And as for the POC comments, we'll drop in, this is a test. We'll save that, and we'll have a POC request created, which will automatically create a POC. We can see it on here on the POCs for this account object. And once we click on it, we can see that the POC is pending approval. So for most companies, we recommend creating an approval flow for a POC, and this will allow somebody on the solutions engineering or technical side to jump in, review the information that is being created, and make sure that everything is good, resources are allocated, and the scoping looks fine before we jump into a POC. From here, if everything looks good, they would be able to approve a POC, and somebody would be able to start actually editing the fields on here. Until then, they are locked and no changes will be saved if you try to change anything on the object. We'll drop in a comment letting them know it's approved, and now we're good to go. One of the big reasons why we like to have a POC object rather than a stage within the opportunity is in order to maximize timing flexibility, especially with long enterprise sales cycles. It's very common that a POC could be happening multiple times within the process. So you might have multiple entries that you're trying to log. It might also have different timing components. Sometimes you're doing a POC in order to get to a pricing conversation. So you're trying to show value before they're interested in having a formal proposal sent their way. Sometimes you have a pretty good idea of what pricing will look like, and you're doing a POC to validate that the results are in line with your expectations as a final approval in order to buy. Having it as a sales stage within the life cycle makes it linear, and it can be a little bit inflexible when it comes to managing that opportunity. So what we do is completely timing agnostic. You are able to create this at any point in the POC and track it completely separately. From here, some of the information that you'll be able to see right away is we're able to assign any CSMs, salespeople, or solutions engineers that are going to be assigned to the POC. So very easy to report on those metrics by people. The information for the account and opportunity are automatically populated. And we have a section for POC details. This will include the projected start date, the forecasted end date, if there's any prices associated with it or fees that we're collecting as part of the POC, as well as the stage that it's currently in, and eventually, once we hit the end, the outcome of the POC. As with all of the things that we do that are related to staging, you'll be able to see at the very bottom, most regular users are not going to see this, but will be collected on the back end. But since we're an admin, we have these ready to be displayed, is we'll be timestamping all of the stage changes in order to show velocity of the POC, so that we can answer a question of how long was everything in each stage and how quickly we're moving through each of the steps associated with running a POC. In this case, let's assume that everything is good. We'll drop in a scope on here. We highly recommend scoping out all of the POCs that you're doing so that you have clear definitions for what you're committing to and what your win criteria are. So in this case, we'll do all their transactions for a month for this fictitious company, and the win criteria will be at least 50% hit rate. We'll fill in the target success rate as 50 on here, and we'll say that the volume is going to be 1,000 units. For this POC, let's say that we're running as an API as an example. We'll save that, and then as you can see, it automatically flipped the stage to in POC as we define those criteria. Let's jump ahead and skip to an API connection. In this case, the solutions engineer might be working with the customer's technical team or prospect's technical team in order to get everything set up. And we should be able to see right here at the bottom that we have exact timestamps for when those things were moved. And given that we skipped one of those stages, we are backfilling the in-between so that we don't have any gaps in our reporting. Lastly, if we were to close the POC on here, it will automatically trigger a POC result in which it will be prompted to say whether we were able to show value and consider this a technical win, or if we did not meet the win criteria that we defined and mark it as unable to show value. One of the big reasons that we like to have the POC outcome as a separate entity from the opportunity outcome is most of us have been in companies in which the POC, at least primarily, either fell short of expectations, but we still ended up converting the deal, or on the flip side, most unfortunately, had a great outing, but ultimately did not convert to a deal. So having the POC and the opportunity be able to be reported on independently, but simultaneously with one another, gives you a lot of insights into, are we winning deals based on POC performance or not? And is there a correlation as to types of POCs that we're running and eventual business outcomes down the line? By having a POC object, we are also able to have a clear dedicated space for the sales engineers or whoever is running the POC at your company to work in their own object without messing with the opportunity. That means a very clear separation and from a roles and responsibility perspective, where once a POC object is created, the sales engineer will be the only person that is working on it, and they're not touching the opportunity, and the salesperson can focus on the commercials rather than having to manage an additional object, which makes life really easy from an operational perspective and user experience perspective. By rolling out some of these recommendations, you're able to ensure a few things. Primarily, that the POC team or your solutions engineer have a dedicated home to manage all of their POCs directly in the CRM with reporting outcomes that are clean, easy to use, and an approval flow that allows you to control what is being created and making sure that every POC that you're committing to has a realistic shot at being won. This will also allow you to have timing flexibility of when you run the POC, being able to store it at any time, whether it is to get to pricing in order to justify pricing, or if you just need to have multiple POCs that are associated with a deal. This object completely separates it from the deal lifecycle so that you can still track what you're commercially doing. If you're working on pricing, legal approvals while a POC is running, it doesn't become a bottleneck in your sales process. Finally, it allows you to get some reporting flexibility on being able to understand how POCs are interacting and driving deals, rather than just assuming that because a deal was won, the POC was won, and also just get more granularity into what kinds of POCs and what kind of criteria that you're seeing are actually leading to technical victories that are ultimately converting into commercial ones as well. If you learned something new from today's content, please drop a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos coming from the LeanScale team.